Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed.
But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. You might recognize this poem as being William Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. It really is such a beautiful poem that transcends. And when I say transcend, I don't mean that it's something that we should worship or anything like that. But there's something about how it moves rhythmically, how it contrasts beauty and decay, imagination and this sharp imagery that really showcases the amazingness of language.
That's very beautifully put, Michelle. Shakespeare really does show us the transcendence of language in this poem. Interestingly enough, Sonnet 18 is actually written from the perspective of a woman who is talking about her beloved. Could you imagine saying this poem to your fiancé, Michelle? In the first half of this poem, the woman is talking about how her beloved is more lovely than nature, because even though nature is beautiful, it eventually decays. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed.
But when we get to the line that says, but thy eternal summer shall not fade, we see the poem moving from talking about nature to now talking about something that transcends time. It's now eternal.
Wait, what do you mean by that, Michelle?
Yeah, well, we have to look a couple lines later where she says, when in eternal line to time thou growest. Here she's talking about her beloved's beauty, which actually, realistically, it's going to fade. But by capturing it in these lines, in these words, it's now eternal. It transcends time. And that's what Shakespeare's able to do amazingly with language. We read a little bit more as he ends the poem. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this poem, and this gives life to thee. Wow. Drop that mic, Shakespeare.
Yet what Shakespeare understood in part, Christians understand in full. Language is transcendent, not in and of itself, but because it reflects the Creator who gave us that gift of language. Did you know human languages can express thoughts on an unlimited number of topics? Humans can speak about abstract topics like the future, or philosophy, or fiction. We can even communicate what a given situation is not, a feature unique to humans. Michelle, good thing we are not two clones acting on behalf of our real selves that are actually going off to a galaxy far, far away.
Or are we? Now, we are two real human beings created by the grace of God. But still, language does have some transcendent ability. We can use language to worship God or to pray to Him. We can write love letters that move the heart, or we can save a life using language.
In contrast to the transcendence of human communication, animals, even the smartest kinds like apes, only have basic communication. Apes do have an impressive capability to learn many human words, but they don't have the ability to communicate beyond their primal instincts. No animal does. Only humans can speak about things like the future, or the abstract, or the morality of any given situation, or even the worship of God.
And these are questions that evolutionists can't answer. Why are humans able to think about or talk about God and higher things if these things didn't exist? Sonnet 18 is just an example of how language has some transcendent ability. And it shows that humans aren't just made up of a bunch of chemicals, and that's it.
For the Christian, the transcendence of human language really points us to the transcendence of our Creator, God, who gave us that gift of language. Now you might be asking, why would God give us that gift of language? Well, one of the primary purposes of language is so that we can use it to worship and glorify our Creator. We can see this in Psalm 96, verses 1 to 4, which says, "Sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord all the earth. Sing to the Lord, bless his name. Proclaim good tidings of his salvation from day to day. Tell of his glory among the nations, his wonderful deeds among all the peoples. For great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods."
Wow, and language also serves to uplift people. We read about that in Proverbs 15:4. Proverbs 15:4 says, "A soothing tongue is a tree of life, but perversion in it crushes the spirit."
And on the other hand, perverse speech that is characterized by untruth or impurity or destructive intent can really break a person down to their core, and it doesn't reflect the God who created the beautiful gift of language.
God gave us this unique and beautiful gift of language to us, his greatest creation, and we are to use it for the greatest good, to love God and to love others.
We must recognize that with this gift of language also comes a great responsibility to ultimately use it for righteousness and not for unrighteousness. Praise God for how he has given us the gift of language. So we hope that the next time you hear some really beautiful poetry, that you can remember that creation is cool, but our Creator is even cooler. We'll see you all next time.
Check out our original lessons by Andy Shi on our website, which is linked below. Also check out our other Creation is Cool videos here. Drop that mic, Shakespeare.